part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane,
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, the Man of Tomorrow, and with me is the other, arguably maybe more handsome, but I doubt it, but I don't know, because I'm not checking him out. But hey, it's Mr. James Cole, the Superman of Red, the Man of Steel himself. Welcome, James.
You know you are.
I feel like I miss my calling. It was like a carnival barker. An introduction specialist.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, you're a pretty good hype man.
Yeah. Like, bring it on. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Just keep saying yeah a bunch. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, new fun night. I'm trying to, like I was telling him before we started recording, like I'm trying to figure some stuff out here because Zencastr, which we used to record, updated and it's a little different. And then Facebook Manager for pages and podcasts and stuff updated. So I was trying to figure that out before I messaged him. This is a good fun night of updation. Is that even a word or just make that up? I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, that's some good tea my wife made.
I think you just made it up.
I feel like I do that a lot. Like I'll be talking like, is that a word? Did I just make that up? But anyways, hey, we got some news. We have some news. Okay. So we'll start here with this one. Something light. The Doomstar cover. It's been released. It looks pretty awesome. The Dan Jurgens part of the Death of Superman special that'll be coming up soon. It basically looks like Doomsday with 4 arms. But what do you think?
Yeah, that one we said was like, what is that, Doomsday and Goro mixed together?
Yep.
I don't know. Do they have to make Doomsday more menacing? With 4 arms?
That'd be awesome if you had an arm in the middle just pop out of his chest. Like,
Yeah.
Now that would be menacing.
Right.
You're like, oh my
Roaring
god!
With its arms up here about to smash you and then just straight pow! Straight punch, straight to the face.
In the face! But it looks cool. Okay, so let's move into some more fun stuff. We got a new trailer for Gotham Knights video game, which I want to pre-order, but guess what? I don't have a PS5. So I might end up buying the game and just having to shelf it until I can get a PS5. Because they screwed us over by changing it just to next gen, and I'm frustrated by that because I have responsibilities as a father. I can't just be willy-nilly buying PS5s. Jeez. But anyways, the trailer was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm frustrated with it too. You know, not. Yeah, I only got my Xbox One. I don't have my my Series X or a PS5.
Your
so.
X Series X1 to the max plus Xbox One X plus Series S stylish silver platinum gold edition. Yeah, that's what it is, right? You know, where it's a whole mouthful just to name your system.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, it's like I tweeted out the other day. This is a little tangential.
I mean, I'm debating on, switching over, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you do. You do know, James. You do know. But it was awesome because we got to see Mr. Freeze. And Mr. Freeze, he's like in a mech. It was crazy. Mr. Freeze, he's like driving a mech suit. And it was just a cool, because all of our main heroes in the video were wearing like alternate skins. So that was pretty cool. I'm like excited for this game, even though I don't have the system. All right, James, you there? In the trailer, it looks like Mr. Freeze is wearing like a mech suit. And the other characters were basically in alternate skins. Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, it was kind of like a villain's trailer. Um, I only got to watch it that one time before I sent it to you guys on over our chat.
Yeah, I watched it once with Salman. It was cool.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, I want to play it, but now it's just like I'm not as interested in it at the moment because I'm not going to be able to play it, you know?
yeah, not only do I have to afford the game, I got to afford the whole system. And they're not like they're easy to buy where I could have put one in layaway or something. Like, they're still, places are still struggling to keep them in stock.
Yeah, and then I actually just read something recently that PlayStation is going to up the price of PlayStation 5s because of inflation.
Yeah, I saw that too. Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, I might just buy the game and have to shelve it. But moving on. Okay. So I don't know where to start. All this kind of ties together. It all just rolls in one pile. But Batgirl. So there's a video the directors released about how what they were doing when they got the announcement that Batgirl was being shut down, and they went to log on to the servers and they were blocked and couldn't get on the servers. And now we got an announcement that they're doing a Batgirl funeral screening, basically allowing a screening of the film for cast and crew to witness to see what had been done. I'm not one for piracy, but this is one of those I hope someone gets a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it. It didn't. I'm sure it needed some VFX.
Oh
Most
yeah,
movies
they said
do.
it needed VFX and other things. I'm like, of course it does, but at least give me an idea of what it was that this film was going to be, you know. But it's so weird. It's kind of like, oh, here's your film that no one else is ever going to see but you. Haha. Hope you like it. So I don't know, man. It's kind of sad.
I mean, it is sad to see that a movie that was that close to completion um, is just never going to see the light of day. At this point, it's tough to say. I mean, it's sad when any project that had been moving forward is canceled that you were looking forward to, but one that was. I mean, we're looking forward to any new DC content. We're going to watch it. So we were definitely going to check it out. But one that had gotten to a point where it's going to be where it was completed.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been there, you know. I mean, that's what that's what it was like 5 years ago.
Oh, it pains me, fella. It pains me.
Yeah. But also, unfortunately, I don't think this one's going to have the clamoring to see it, as well as um, the atmosphere, the way the world was at the time. You know?
Right. I mean, one of the things is, HBO Max at the time was focused on building their streamer, and having Zack Snyder's Justice League was a way of building that streamer. Now,
I mean, Batwoman or Batgirl was a way of contributing to that streamer.
right, but the new regime doesn't care about the streamer. They're not out to build up their streamer like the way the old regime was.
Well, I mean, I think
that,
it's important that I think in the long run, it's important that we keep things like little projects maybe popping up over in the streaming, but if they want to compete, they have to have that cinematic side that people are clamoring to see, people want to go see, as well as the additives like the shows that lesser characters get, that lesser known characters get, You know, I
Yeah, of
mean,
course.
we do know that it is all damage control at this point. I mean, things kept changing every 2 years, you know. Everybody had a plan, everybody tried to get something going, but every time something came out and it didn't get received the way they wanted to, they changed every single time. So nothing 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 got a chance to work.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
hopefully, I mean it is. Hopefully at this point, we get to see something actually start to be built.
I agree. Now, speaking of streamers, so there was a message that Gotham, all 5 seasons of Gotham, was leaving Netflix. And everyone's like, no. And my response was, okay, so where is it going? Because usually when something leaves one streamer, it's going to another one. And Gotham will be streaming on HBO Max starting September 30th. And I said, good, because I want all my DC stuff streaming under one place. That's one more of those DC products coming home.
Yeah.
And it's coming home in time for what do you call it? Pennyworth season 3.
Yeah. And Bruno Heller was the showrunner behind both.
I'm telling you, as of right now, they have one thing that happened in Pennyworth that could contradict this, and I'll see what season 3 has. But in my mind right now, Pennyworth is kind of the prequel to Gotham.
Yeah.
Um,
Pennyworth is the prequel to Gotham. Gotham is the prequel to Batman.
yeah, yeah. So speaking of Batman, this is where things get weird. So Batman, the Cape Crusader animated series, is not going forward to HBO Max, but is being shopped around by other streamers and networks for being picked up. And all I can think to myself is, the things that I've read is, have they made episodes yet or not? Because they announced this thing like a year or two ago, at least a year ago.
At least a
So they're
good year.
and they use the words produced, so it means has it been created and we just don't know all the details yet? Because my thing is, if you're going to launch this new series, like, shouldn't there be all kinds of toys and stuff coming out and merch for it? Because, and we're going to get into that even more, about the importance of having property for a younger generation. I mean, that was kind of, they had some toys and stuff when they did the last Batman cartoon. Think about that. The last Batman animated series we've had was Beware the Batman. And that ended in what, 2013, 2014?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't on very long, like what, a season?
Yeah.
And I mean, they put it they put it at a death slot at super late on freaking what, Cartoon Network?
Yeah. I mean, it fell into that same thing where Cartoon Network was failing, where they failed Young Justice, they failed the Green Lantern series. So,
Yeah,
and that's why
superhero properties and stuff like that, they've always gotten eyes on them. Kids have always watched them, you know? So not putting them in a place like that where kids could watch them, it just makes very little sense. I mean,
it also,
they're
it doesn't make sense that you're not creating anything for kids to watch. Like, I mean, you created little 10-minute shorts on YouTube that I think showed up on Cartoon Network. I don't know, it's so hard to watch stuff like that. And then for both Superhero Girls and Batman Unlimited, you made 3 animated films and these little shorts, and you went toy merchandise crazy with them. And now there's like nothing. And that's the problem, is there's this wasteland of nothingness for kids. I mean, you completely undervalue your Justice League action. We've talked about that how many times?
yeah.
Yeah, because Batman Unlimited came out after Beware the Batman. Because Beware the Batman tried too hard to be too different. So, I don't know. So that brings us to this. Are you ready, James?
This. What's this?
Shazam and Aquaman have been moved again.
No, not ready for this.
So Shazam is back to its March spot of 2023. So that's like what, 4 months? Yeah, it sucks, but okay.
Well, what did
Um,
Sandberg say? He said 3 months before their original release date.
yeah,
Still, so
and I'm like, okay. Um, I'm like, all right, fine, because that one at least, I guess, moved out of the way of Avatar and stuff, and give it some room to breathe. And I don't even know what comes out in March next year, because I used to know the schedule by heart, but now you can't remember anything because everything changes constantly.
yeah. I mean the changing the schedule. It's moving out of the way of Avatar is probably a good idea. You know,
I agree.
it's not. Um, no matter what people say, uh, about Avatar, how its sequel has come out so long past. I mean, it's James Cameron for one. Like
Yep.
every time the man releases something, people go to see it.
Yep.
Like you just don't like you don't go up against that.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
also the fact they're re-releasing Avatar next month into theaters, the first one, that's just gonna build more hype.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we want Shazam to do well. So yeah, we're good. I'm good with that one. Okay, I'm okay with that. The one that hurts is the next one, which is Aquaman. Um,
Yep, I know when that's coming out. That's moving it another 9 months back to
so
a Christmas release.
so just for an understanding. Okay, ready? March 3rd is Dungeons and Dragons and Creed 3. March 10th is The Haunted Mansion, which makes no sense being released March 10th. March 17th is Shazam. Um, and then March 24th is John Wick 4. So, and then March 31st is Scream 6. So that's just the kind of window into March.
I mean, there's a lot
Um,
of things to be seen at that time,
yep,
but I don't think anything that necessarily is going to be like the repeat viewer for a large chunk of people,
yep, I
you
agree.
know? So I
But
think a lot of people will go see a good chunk of those, but how many are going to re-see multiple times of different ones? Kind of.
and I feel like this whole window that we get anymore with movies, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute too, um, is killing repeat viewing too. So Aquaman, like you said, is now in December of 2023, when its original date was supposed to be December 2022. So that movie got moved a year because it originally just flopped with Shazam. Shazam took its December, and it took Shazam's April. And I'm telling you right now, I think as of we don't know anything, but I think 2024 is when we'll see Blue Beetle. I think that'll get pushed to 2024.
Uh, I just hope they don't. I just hope we get to see it. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want to wait that long, but
I agree.
I would if I got to see it in 2024.
But just thinking about they have nothing other than for 2024 as of right now, nothing else is in production or being made. We have Joker 2 and they need something else, and with Blue Beetle being done or whatever, I could see Blue Beetle being 2024. They get all these other movies out in 2023, and then in 2024 we get Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, nothing's in production now, so there's like a gap of time there. Um, that at this point, unless something new goes into production next year, within probably the first half of the year, we're out of movies come 2024.
Right, and that's why I'm saying Blue
Um,
Beetle
I mean,
is going to
except
be.
for Joker.
Now, the last thing I have to say is that I sent you a picture of it's a really great shot poster of Dr. Fate. His suit looks sweet.
Yeah, it does. It's got
It
some
looks
pretty
like the
awesome look to the design to like the blue.
yeah, the glyphs are like carved in it and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
much like Shazam's. I mean, not Shazam's, Black Adam's. So I'm really like digging his look. And the other thing was James Wan released some concept art for Aquaman, which still looks amazing. And um and you know what? That's it. Like I don't want to go into any kind of more speculation on with moving things around. Like, are they going to use the Affleck or Keaton Batman stuff? Who knows? Because right now, I really don't care because it's too much changing too quickly, and I don't know. I'm just going to wait for Black Adam and enjoy Black Adam, and then after that, I'll wait for the next one because that's just feels like the rhythm we're in. You know?
Yeah, I mean, right now we just, like I said, we know it's damage control. They're trying to um, put the house in order. We've seen it before. We've heard it before. All we can do is see what comes down the line. We only know of 5 projects we're gonna see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't suspect Shazam and Aquaman are gonna go anywhere. I mean, movements aside, I think we're definitely gonna see those.
Yeah.
Changing dates aside, we're definitely gonna see those. But the the Blue Beetle, nobody's heard anything about that. But that's also supposed to get a theatrical release, so that
Right.
might be safe.
That's why I'm saying 2024.
But we definitely need something. I hope by by the time Black Adam comes out, there is a little something known about the future. Obviously, we're not going to get a slate of anything, but perhaps with that coming out, they'll be able to move forward. Obviously, it's the next thing. Marketing's in swing. Keep the focus on Black Adam where it should be.
Exactly.
But there's 6 months, 5 months, I between Black Adam and Shazam. So there's a bit of time there to start revealing the forming of the plan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good way to go, you know.
I agree. I
So
agree. And who knows what happens to anything else because they have Ezra Miller starting his apology tour. Um, so we'll see. Anyways, let's get into something interesting, James. Are you ready for this, guys? So we are officially doing our review for League of Super Pets.
the one where we discuss Super Pets.
Yeah, and this is when I said we talk more about streaming and the whole streaming window and stuff is because this is crazy. As of this recording, it has not yet been 30 days since this movie came out. And it literally Monday popped up and said on digital tomorrow. And I said, what? So I went and I was curious. I pre ordered it on iTunes just to see. And when I woke up, it said your pre order of Super Pets is ready. And there it was in my Movies Anywhere and on my iTunes account. And I messaged James, like, okay, now we can do Super Pets. And all I can think is one, when you do stuff like this, it kills your box office because people are going to get too accustomed to, oh, I'll just wait for streaming. Or, you know what? we'll probably like that. We'll buy it anyways. It's cheaper just to go ahead and buy it and not worry about seeing it in theaters than buying it. And only thing I think of too is maybe box office is starting to calm down because of kids back in school, and they just needed to influx of money or something. Like that's the only thing that makes sense
Well,
of why all of a sudden the turnaround, like there, because usually you get a promotion of it's going to be on streaming this day, it's going to hit HBO Max this day, and it's going to be on physical this date, but it literally was Monday, like tomorrow. There was no build up to it coming, and I know because I watch this stuff.
yeah. Um, Tyler's more vigilant about that than me these days. But I mean, so for the movie itself, I mean, it's made 146 million.
And it still like our buddy Nate McKenzie, I was talking to him, it hasn't opened in Australia yet.
Yeah.
Like it still has markets it has yet to open in, and here we are streaming it at home, and I didn't even get to ask him like if you could buy it or digitally over there yet. So go figure with that.
Yeah, those
really
those
just feels,
international markets, it kind of seems like that's getting more wild than it ever has been.
because that was always like the big, like, okay, I listened to an interview with Scott Derrickson the other day talking about Black Phone, and he mentioned how it just came out here, and there's some international markets that it has yet to be released in theaters. So I don't know. It's weird, but hey, the good part is I had of it. My kids have watched it at least 4 times since I bought it. They enjoy it, and I'm happy they enjoy it. And you got to watch it.
I did. Thank you, courtesy
So
of Tyler.
you're welcome, bro. So let's get into Super Pets. All right, spoiler free. We got everything. We got all the other stuff out of the way first, so that we could go into this. Do our spoiler free, and then if you want to turn the podcast off, you can. So James, spoiler free, Super Pets, go.
Spoiler free. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. It was really cute. They really leaned into a lot of the jokey tropes for the heroes. The focus was on the pets, but you did get to see the Justice League and Lex and whatnot. So you got to see some of them, which you saw in the trailers and everything. But they lean into some of those jokes and character like things that are said about them, but it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into some of those in spoilers, but I mean, I thought it was really cute. The post-credit scene was like highly self-serving, but whatever. I thought it was hilarious. So just so you know, if you haven't, there is a post-credit scene. There's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene.
There you go. There we go.
So yeah, check those out.
That's
it fits great. You know what I mean? The next movie coming out, it fits fine. But so yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really funny and creative, and they took some interesting liberties with the characters, especially the pets themselves. But yeah, if you have kids, watch it with them. They will love it. They will enjoy it, and you should enjoy it as well.
And what would you rate it?
What scale are we using? Sometimes we bounce around a little bit.
I know we really suck at keeping to a scale. Sorry, Sailor just moved my microphone. Out of 10.
Out of 10. It's a 7.5 out of 10.
I rank at 8, so yeah. For my non-spoiler review, listen to our previous episode because it was hilarious because the kids and I decided we were going to record a small one to talk about Super Pets just because they wanted to, because we had watched it so many times. And we saw it twice in theaters. And Sayla literally was asking me to watch it again. And I said, no, we'll wait. Okay. Um, and then we started working on this episode because, we also started working on it because we had just recently went to Jerry Siegel's house and everything. And then I started working on this, and then they drop it on HBO, and I'm like, well, this will be a really short, quick review because
Clip
James
to
and I
put
will
in
have
there.
I'm like, because James and I will have a full review here soon.
Yeah. I mean, I give it that because I will rewatch it. I'll watch it with the kids. Allura, I mean, she's too young, but she really loved the very beginning with baby Kal-El and baby Crypto. Um, she really enjoyed laying there and just watching that part. But it's something that I will watch again, but more than likely it'll be something that like will get put on with the kids. And then if I got to get up and go do something, uh, switch some laundry around or, run to the kitchen and whip up something or make the popcorn or whatever, it'd be something that I can step away from.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Our spoiler review is coming in 3, 2. If you like us, go subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on all of our social media, and check out our Patreon $1 a month special stuff. Just throwing that out there. And now, ready and spoiler, go.
Oof, whiplash. No, that
Yeah.
post-credit scene. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to
Yeah.
jump that
We'll
far
just
to
go to
the
the
end.
end.
To the very end. No.
I like this movie. Okay. Yes, I'm DC biased. Okay. Sure. But I've seen all the kids' movies that have come out in theaters. All right. And I'll be honest, number 1 is this. I don't count the bad guys because it came out in spring before summer, and I've only watched half of that on Peacock, but I liked what I saw. I just haven't been busy. I've been busy. So, out of the kids' movies that have come out, Paws of Fury, Lightyear, Minions, and Super Pets. I asked my kids what they thought, what they would rank them, and they both put Super Pets as number 1, Minions as number 2, Paws of Fury, and then Lightyear. And I agree with them.
Well,
Just for the sheer
definitely from a kid's perspective.
and I agree with them on all of that. And I agree on different points than they do. I thought Super Pets was funny, uh, lighthearted, a good time, a great time with my favorite like comic book characters, and something that I could enjoy with my kids. Like we have talked about so much about not having anything for kids, and what makes me mad is I have not found any merchandise in stores for this other than books. I got Solomon a book to read, and then I bought Uno cards on Amazon, and I bought the Superman crypto figures on Amazon. Other than that,
That's
I have
a great.
found nothing.
Well, that's still a great time with the family, reading time and some games like Uno.
Oh yeah, and I bought the PlayStation game for it, or Switch game, not PlayStation. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and then other stuff, like I find, like I would have loved, like I would have like this is one of those things that when parents like something and kids like it too, parents will always spend more money on. So if I went to the store and found Super Pets shirts, Super Pets PJs, Super Pets bedding, I would have been like, here you go, take my money. And there wasn't that. And that bums me out.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's crazy about that is that stuff needs to be lined up well in advance. So it's not even that the merger had anything to do with it because the company's only 3 months old, maybe
Right.
close to 4 at this time, and that stuff would have been set up at probably before the turn of the year.
And I guess they released all the McDonald's stuff, or the Happy Meal toys, all came out in early May. I don't know how we missed it because we go to McDonald's at least once a month with the kids,
Hmm.
and the grandparents take them. So I don't know how we completely missed out on all the Super Pets because originally it was supposed to come out in May, and I guess they released all the Happy Meal stuff then. So I mean, think about we saw all the Minions toys 2 years ago in 2020.
Right. Well,
Um,
I guess their marketing hasn't gotten back in shape since it
and
had
I
to go all wonky because of COVID.
I guess I don't. I'm just saying that because I feel like this movie deserved better that way. I mean, we have the Justice League, we have Batman, Superman, the Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, Green Lantern.
And can I say, okay,
Hmm.
right. Okay, and can I say, so you brought up you just said Aquaman. It's the one thing that really bugged me about it, but I don't it really bugged me, but I'm also lenient on it because they did it for everybody. They leaned into those jokes about characters. So like Aquaman, like hardcore fish jokes, you know?
Oh yeah,
Like fish food and he's gulping fish food like a guppy in a like a goldfish in a jaw in a little bowl. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um uh, and then next one they did. So it really bugged me just because it finally kind of like it went away from that for just a couple of years, and then they're going right back to it. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, even in
because
all of their own productions, they go back to it.
we had Momoa as you know as Aquaman. It was like when that happened, everyone was like, "Oh, we can't make fun of Aquaman no more."
Well, then they
And
made him
then
awesome,
Peacemaker, yeah, and then we had Peacemaker though make jokes about him.
and we've
You
seen him
know,
awesome in countless comics. I mean, he's laid
and
out
that's
Superman a couple of times.
exactly. But that's I like the design though because they gave him like web feet. That was cool, and they gave him the hook hand from the '90s. That was cool.
Yeah, they had him kind of they had him as a different back they had him based off of Momoa a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Um and then the Batman thing, how he's like, I always work alone except for Alfred and Robin and Batwoman
Commissioner Gordon.
and Batwing and Commissioner like he's going down the list of people. So it's a nice little joke they lean into, and they did that with a lot of the characters. So Um, it's
And,
just that
and
one bugged me a little bit, but like I said, it's not like it detracts. They did it for everybody.
can we just say Alfred Molina as the voice of Jor-El at the beginning was awesome, and just the look of Krypton, and the little bit of John Williams score they've used in the movie, just like that little bit of Danny Elfman Batman score they used in the movie
Yeah,
was awesome.
they did a really good job of kind of like blending some points out of history for a couple of characters like that.
Dude, what do you think about the opening scene with just like the way Crypto gets in the pod with Baby Cal?
Right. I mean, it was really cute, and uh, they were playing that music. They had the ship that kind of looked like the Superman 78 crystalline ship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, it's just really cute. You know, they go from being baby and puppy, and then the transition to to Clark snoring in bed. It was
Oh, both
funny.
my kids, both my kids laughed and were like, "That's like Daddy." I was like, "Thanks, kids." But the whole movie, the snoring is what they referenced me as.
Yeah,
But dude, puppy Crypto, curled up with Baby Cal in his little diaper, sad.
yeah,
But they have each other,
they do,
and and
and that's like part of the story. Actually, that's the character development for Crypto himself, because Crypto's only ever had Clark. He's only ever had Superman.
mm-hmm.
So he doesn't know what to do. Whereas growing up, Clark's had other people, and then at this point he has Lois, which in the movie he's going to propose to her,
I
which is
liked, oh,
a
I
bad
liked it,
thing. You know, the dog. Bye bye dog.
dude. I love the scene where Crypto is imagining Lois and Clark doing all the stuff that they do, like playing fetch in his spot on the bed with his bone, like all everything that's his. Like I love it. And I love that, this movie is the Pets movie. That's what it's supposed to be. So yes, we have the Justice League there. I'm glad that they are there. It's not like just like a planet full of dogs, That
Yeah,
could have been a very easy thing to do, just an animal planet type thing.
right. Which, is interesting because the few times they cut to the people side of it, like Crypto's like, "Are we licking faces? I want to lick faces." Da da da. And then they
Hmm.
switch to the people side, and he's just barking.
Yeah,
Or when
that
Clark is talking to the guinea pig, and the guinea pig's just squeaking as it's making its dramatic villain monologue, and he's like, "You're just so cute."
I think it's funny because we watch Crypto the Superdog, the animated series, where he has that translator built into his collar, and you know he speaks English. You can understand him English. Um, so there's certain parts like with Lulu when she's talking. I'm like, okay, are they hearing her or just hearing the squeaks? Especially later. Um, Now, if we're looking at this, I love the film does such a great job of blending different eras, and I love that we see like the Crypto, holds up a green bank truck, much like Action Comics #1. I love the montage of Crypto and Superman doing stuff together at the beginning.
Yeah,
All the little like blink and you miss it stuff. There's a Big Belly Burger. There's a Mrs. Pitalik reference. Um, what? I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It just puts a big goofy like smile on my face.
when Lex gets arrested, the TV says wealthy person actually goes to jail.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was really good.
Um, so, out of all the pets, like, what was your favorite pet?
Um, the turtle was the funniest. The turtle got to curse and it bleeped out all the curse words. Um, the turtle was just hilarious, and um, I like I liked the way she couldn't see, and uh, it's just eating all the time.
None of y'all are turtles. This explains a lot.
Yeah, right.
I really like the characterization of every character. I like the animation. I like the bright colors of the animation. I like the story of Ace and Crypto together. I like the way Ace was done. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, Ace's backstory.
Dude, that got me. And the first thing I said to me is, what negligent parents didn't close the gate or take a moment to like examine the situation? Like when they grabbed their kid, they didn't notice that the gate was open.
Right. Like, I mean, it's a hard thing to examine and everything. I mean, I was jumping to conclusions like real quick. Um, you can see it. You can see it being that way, but um, they definitely. It's a sad story, him doing the right thing and getting taken away for it.
As a puppy, I was taken from my family.
Cut off from all emotion.
So I hide my pain.
Yeah. That was a
What,
really
what, what
funny story.
I like just the the shelter pets are just funny. Like my favorite part is just like what I found the funniest part was in the theater. We were watching this, and I'm the only one that laughed at this. And then Jania laughs because I'm laughing. Is when the little kitten's like, "Okay, see you in heck."
Yeah.
I like
With
busted out loud.
Lulu saved my life and now I must take yours. That cat was adorable and very vicious.
So the whole
Just murder with a
plot,
smile on his face.
the plot is that basically orange kryptonite comes and orange kryptonite gives superpowers to animals. And I looked at Gene like, oh, XK, all right, we're doing XK again, okay.
Right?
And but I like the way that the story was. Krypto and Superman were like a team, and it works because we don't see that ever anymore in any stories. So it was really nice to have. I mean, jumping back, I remember this movie being talked about, just coming out, and then we got our first tease of it back at the first fandom. We had like Krypto fly by, and then this next fandom we had a little bit more of like a teaser trailer of Krypto coming out and pressing like his collar and getting his cape and saying, Super Pets, Legion of Super Pets. And I'm glad that this movie got made. And I think even with a modest hit that a sequel should be done, because this sets it up to just jump into the sequel. You have all your pets established with all of your heroes.
Yeah, how they actually work with their respective heroes. How Chip's got a Green Lantern ring. Yeah, I love how they each went with their respective hero.
Yeah.
In the end.
Green Lantern is Jessica with a completely different like look and vibe, and
very
the
different.
The only thing I didn't really like in the film, and I walked out and I said, "There's one thing I didn't like," and that was Lex Luthor's voice.
No,
I did not like his voice.
I mean, I couldn't see him as like an ongoing Lex Luthor, but I think for the movie it worked. I think it worked kind of all right. They gave him some lines but it was almost meta to a degree. The way he was, his lines were written. He's kind of, instead of directing, it was more exposition, less
Yeah.
less about like what's going on, what's happening. It's more just like explaining everything to his counterpart, but to the audience.
I like how we have Squeaky Bruce and
then Superman.
Superman. Yeah.
I missed that the first time, but that was mostly the baby.
Dude, there's so many little things that I've picked up each time I watch it. So in our group chat, I like how I renamed you Dog L, because I don't know, for some reason when he when he hits it and his dad pops up, Krypto's dad, he's like, "Yes, it is I, Dog L."
Voiced by Keith David.
I know, it was awesome,
which is fantastic. And then he's like fast forwarding through it, and he's never eat chocolate, and then he's licking himself, and then he quickly skips that one.
I like how Krypto's like, the farm. What farm? Farm upstate. Which one? And he's like, I actually live on a farm. I grew up on a farm. I could take you there. So I like the Smallville reference, because I would even like in a second when they go to Smallville. I like the fact that Lulu is the villain and she's from Lex and she's a bald guinea pig.
Yeah. And you know what?
So
You know what's hilarious is I don't know why. I was wondering why she looked goofy if she was a guinea pig. And then they talked about her being bald, and I was like, oh my god. Like, that is exactly what a bald guinea pig looks like, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, that's why.
Like
That's
Lex.
why she's Lex, because she's bald.
I'm glad they didn't do Lex's salamander. I'm a little bummed there's no Streaky the super cat, though. But
Sequel,
it
man.
worked.
Sequel.
Yeah, exactly. I liked, like for this. Okay, Keanu Reeves as Batman works for me in this. I wouldn't want a full time Keanu Reeves Batman, but in this, it works.
Well, I think if they gave him something different, he could play a voice of a Batman, something totally different. But you know, it's like Nicolas Cage for Superman and Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Could you imagine that
You know?
movie or live action of Keanu Reeves as Batman and Nick Cage as Superman talking to each other?
Oh, I the world would break. The earth would shatter. Like,
The character that I felt got the least amount of service in this was Jimmy Olsen. He has like a couple of lines and he looks like a doofus. And it's really a blink and you miss it. And Lois Lane is on TV. She's not a reporter, newspaper reporter. She's a TV reporter. And we didn't get into like because I think it'd be kind of interesting if we got Perry White and Streaky was Perry White's cat.
no, yeah.
I like how we have um, Cyborg's put in airplane mode.
He's put in airplane mode, and I also hated the line. I laughed at it, but I hated it. Somebody call tech support. Did you try and turning it off and back on again? Like, oh
Yeah.
my god! Like that is the most that is the most horrible line you hear from every single tech support person there is. But still, to have that brought up, it's like
Other,
you use the worst tech joke for him, and it's
yeah.
got to be on purpose.
And the fact they pulled like a Duracell battery out of his back.
Right?
My kids love the line where Batman's like, "I miss my parents." Like they just think that's the funniest line in the entire movie. Sayla does, anyways. But and we have the transparent, invisible plane. He's like, "It's more transparent than it's invisible."
Yeah. And then Ace is like, you should really rope this off. Put some cones.
Oh, Kevin Hart as Ace is great.
Yeah.
He is perfect, and
I mean, him and Dwayne Johnson just have that rapport, you know? I mean,
oh
they've been
yeah,
doing every movie together for the last, like, 6 years.
it works so well. They just have this. You feel their friendship, and I love the super paw punch. It sounds like a juice box. I drink the juice box.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh no, what's he gonna do? The juice box thing?"
Yeah.
Like, but
He's
and
like,
what's funny
no,
is,
just so you do something for me and I don't tell somebody incriminating evidence. That is exactly the definition of blackmail.
the thing is, I would not say I'm a Kate McKinnon fan. This is the one thing I actually like Kate McKinnon in as the voice of Lulu.
Yeah.
It's the one. To me, it's the one thing that serves her well. But the final fight between like Crypto and Lulu is awesome because we get a lot of great visual references where Lulu comes some sort of massive like doomsday creature. We get an awesome scene of Crypto with like his back against a wall with his eyes red, where he uses heat vision. I mean, it was beautiful to watch on the big screen. Like the way they do, like when he goes up to the sun to charge up to do the super paw punch.
Yeah.
Classic, like Superman in the sky thing. It was awesome. I don't know, like it just, um, you know, I like this movie more than I like Lego Batman. Like,
Um,
I'll watch this over Lego Batman.
would you? I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
dude.
I mean, that would be a tough call for me. Which one? I mean, it would definitely. If I had to pick one, I might go with Lego Batman. But
I can't with Lego Batman. It's just too much. It's like it's trying too hard to be funny.
right, I can see that. Um, there was just so many references and callbacks, and I maybe the more I watch this, I will also catch more
Oh, dude,
for the
like little
wider
things
DC universe.
there's watch with the captions on, and you'll see more. And like I said, I feel like this movie is a great way to start. And we have, a sequel that could be awesome because we'll get to see them just start out and because we have that awesome shot at the end of them, the league forming. We see all the pets in their costumes, and we have the bond, the great relationship between Crypto and Ace. And I love the fact that Crypto's getting destroyed by the super paw punch, and there's Ace that shows up and saves him.
Yeah, it gets in between him because he's indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Dude, oh man, I teared up a little bit in a couple parts. The beginning, with Baby Cow, brought a tear to the eye. 'Cause I'm a big old softy.
Right. Well, you're on record here talk the about sending Kal-El off planet. Um, hits you differently these days.
Oh yeah, dude. Since being a parent, I watched Man of Steel. Uh, the night Salma was born, we watched Man of Steel on my iPad while he laid on my chest, while Jania was resting and stuff. Like, yeah, it definitely hits you hardcore. Now, one reference I do want to throw out here was I did not know this, if this is canon or they did it for the movie, but Lois Lane's middle name being Joanne. Did you never know that before?
I never did. I was curious as to if that's a real thing um or if it was just made for this movie.
And it's, for as far as I can find, was it was made for this movie, which is a great because Joanne is Jerry Siegel's wife's name, who was his inspiration for Lois Lane. She
Oh.
was the model. She was the model that they hired, that they drew and based Lois Lane off of.
Well, that would be a deep pull and that would be fantastic.
So,
Yeah,
um,
that would make me love it just a little bit more because
and
yeah.
I know there's more little things I catch as I watch the movie, and the movie is highly enjoyable, and I'm gonna continue to watch it more and more. The kids love it, and that's what matters, is they have something that they can watch with these characters. Like, they got to watch Batman on the big screen this year. It was in Super Pets, but they got to watch a Batman on the big screen that was enjoyable for them. Um, and that made me happy. So we're kind of just jumping. Like, there'll be more to talk about once James watches it more in depth, and it'll probably come up again. But yeah, I highly recommend it. The movie ends in the first mid-credit scene with Lulu going with Mercy Graves, who's in the Lexo suit. And Lulu right now is depowered, so we'll see what happens with that. But James, do you want to talk about the self-serving end of the movie post-credit scene?
Yeah, so at the end of at the post credit scene, they are playing fetch with Squeezy Bruce, and he throws it and he goes to get his toy, and his toy gets snatched up by Anubis, who is Black Adam's dog, who's a very black dog with a lightning bolt and a cape. Which I think the design is pretty sweet, though. He snatches up the toy, and then Black Adam flies in. Dwayne Johnson does the voice for Black Adam, says Superman, and he turns around and says Black Adam. And then Dwayne Johnson does the voice for Krypto, and Dwayne Johnson does the voice for Anubis. So,
Yeah.
like he's just playing all sides of the conversation here. And he said, "Well, I bet your guy can't fly to Pluto and back. Watch him." It's my toy.
Hilarious. Because I love the dialogue. He's like, he's an anti-hero. Doesn't that mean he's a villain? No. That's if it's anti something, doesn't it mean that it's a villain? But it was funny because was Anubis a comic character, or was this created just for this movie?
I have not looked into that.
I
cannot say for sure.
I was looking at it just now. I didn't see anything, but I'll dig deeper because that right there could help set up a sequel right there. So, I think the movie is perfect for a sequel to do more. I hope.
I would check out a sequel
because you could start it immediately with all of them in place. We don't have to wait too long. There's no forming of the team; it's already there. So, I recommend it. James recommends it. Check out SuperPets. It's supposed to be in October on physical. Means maybe in September it'll start streaming somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to getting it physically. I got the Suicide Squad, the Batman, and SuperPets to pick up all physical. But I'm sure even before that, I'm gonna get the Long Halloween Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, that comes out into September.
Yep.
So
probably end up having that physically first.
Yeah, I didn't buy the other two versions physically because I knew they'd put it together, and that's what I wanted to buy physical. So, all right, dear listeners, this is James and Tyler signing off. And remember,
Look up in the sky. Yes, it's Miss Sailor.
we just want to say if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network. Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find all of our information right there. $1 a month, you'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton Report. We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us and then listen in.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, The Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, Caped Wonder, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope Podcast.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.